Welcome, everybody, to the Two Doodz, where we're up all night to get lucky.
We are, well, we might end up being up all night.
Well, yeah, probably up all night, but...
Maybe not to get lucky.
I get lucky all the time, though.
From yourself?
Let's not talk about that.
Okay. My name is Chris.
And my name is Nathan.
Yes.
I can't believe that still we're in the double digits.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, granted, we were in the double digits last episode, but
Yeah.
it's still surreal. It doesn't feel like we've broken the single digit. I feel like this is still like our second episode.
Yeah.
And
Something like that.
Something like that.
Anyways, we are not as fucked up as we usually are on every episode.
True.
We didn't have as much vodka this time around.
And all we have is beer.
But you know what? That does not make this time any less fun than it should be or already is in some other thing.
Yeah!
Anyways, our first topic tonight is the Whose Line Is It Anyway reboot.
The Whose Line reboot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't read that much into it, but I know that Drew Carey won't be hosting it. I told you earlier, and it's a little upsetting, but...
What? Because Drew Carey was the backbone of the show.
But fat Drew Carey was the backbone.
We haven't seen how skinny Drew Carey would be. I want to give him a chance.
Fine.
Yeah.
I still like fat Drew.
Yeah, but it's not like, what are you just going to go force feed him food and be like, you're going to fucking eat this until...
Yeah, all the time. I do that already. I'm like, hey, Drew, just coming over in a little... Well, I don't know why I'm writing him. I text him. I'm like, yo, Drew... Shut up. I'm like, yo, Drew, I'm coming over in a little bit. And he's like, are you going to force feed me again? I'm like, hell no. Why would I do that? I've already done that like 11 times. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 11 times, you're a fucking idiot. So I go over there, and I tie him to the bedpost, and I force food into his throat, into his mouth, and it goes down his throat.
Is it just pure lard that you're forcing into his
Yeah,
throat?
of course.
Gross.
He doesn't mind. I mean, as long as he gets a happy ending.
Oh, so then... Oh, God. Oh, God, what do you do? What the fuck do you do? Nathan, what the fuck do you do? I'm so interested. What the fuck?
I give him a hand job. What else did you want to hear?
I didn't think you were going to be that forward about it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Drew Carey's house to feed him lard and rub his dick with my hand.
Can you imagine, like, putting that on your Facebook as your job? Just, like, employed at Drew Carey's house to feed him lard and give hand job. And you put that on your resume and people are like,
hey,
you know what? That's pretty good. You're hired.
Hey, it's not torture if he's happy at the end of it, so, I mean...
Oh, yeah, totally. I feed him lard all the time.
Oh. Do you know the name of the new person hosting?
I don't off the top of my head, but it is a black woman.
Okay.
An African-American woman.
Okay. Is she fat?
No.
Okay.
She's actually rather skinny.
Okay.
Kind of
Because I just feel like the host
there needs to be a fat host.
Yeah, the host of that show always has to be fat. Because, I mean, granted, it still had Colin and Ryan when it was in the UK version.
Yeah.
And it was still mostly funny sometimes. As, you know, as backstepping as I can get with that. Mostly funny sometimes.
As vague as possible.
Yes. And, then as soon as they got the fat host, I mean, I guess that's the rule to any game or any show. Get a fat host, instantly funny.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They had Will Sasso hosting Mad TV all the time. And he was fat when he was doing it. And it was funny.
And I speak for all fat people out there. Because if you're looking at the picture, you can see I'm the fatter one. I'm on the right. I'm the fatter one.
Yes. I will not disagree with you on that.
You know, that kind of hurt.
No, you made the picture.
Yeah, I made the picture, but you could have been nicer about it.
I'm sorry.
You could have been my best friend like you are, but no, you insult me and call me fat.
It happens, I'm sorry.
You dick.
So,
no more happy endings for you.
oh god, that was my favorite part. Oh god.
Ew.
So,
whoa, shit, what were we saying?
we were talking about the skinny black host. We need a fat host. But regardless, I guess that's who we're with. That's.
And I was like, I was saying, I speak on behalf of all fat people everywhere. If you're skinny and listening to this, and when I say skinny, I mean, like, you walk around and people look at you, not in disgust, but in, like...
That's a person.
That's a person. not a gelatinous blob rolling down the fucking sidewalk.
Not a meatball with legs.
I said earlier to one of my friends, diabetes runs in my family. Well, it doesn't run, really.
Oh my god.
I'm actually proud of myself because I came up with that.
That was a good one. You should write that down.
Oh, I'm totally writing it down.
Right now.
Okay.
You can hear it.
Because that wasn't your hand. But yeah, I speak on behalf of all fat people. We're just naturally funny people. We're either actually naturally funny or just angry people because...
Or clinically depressed.
Or clinically depressed. Because we're like, I'm fat because I eat, and I eat because I'm fat. Yeah. And it's like a vicious circle.
That's where the humor comes in. You have to either deflect people's mean terms at you, which happens, but as you get older, it tends to happen less. When you're little, it happens a lot more.
Oh yeah, all throughout high school, people were... I mean, I was getting called names and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I am fat.
I was getting called names all the time, too. They're like, hey, Chris. And I'm like, hey, stop being an asshole. And they're like, what am I supposed to call you?
I said, hey, Chris, once, okay? You don't need to be a dick about it, okay?
You say it all the time.
Okay, yeah, I do.
I hate that term. I want to be called spaghetti.
I'm calling you fucking spaghetti from now on?
Yeah, call me spaghetti. Write it on the screen. Spaghetti.
You fucking asshole.
Put that. Oh, can't you put it over my head?
Put spaghetti over your head?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it right now. Okay, continuing.
So who are all the old people other than Drew Carey returning?
I believe Chip, Greg, and Wayne will be on there. I know for sure Ryan and Colin will be on there.
Okay.
I'd like to believe that they're actually the fucking backbone of Whose Line.
They're the backbone of the comedy. Drew is the backbone of the show in general.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to put it this way. Ryan and Colin were the meat and potatoes.
Yummy.
Yeah, they were the bread and butter.
Yummy.
They were on, like, I think every single one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Since the beginning of the goddamn show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think they're good friends.
I would like to as well.
Wouldn't it be weird if they just hated each other?
It's like fucking that guy.
They go on the show and they're just really acting to laugh at each other's jokes and shit, but they like the cameras turn off.
Genuinely just hate each other.
And then they turn to each other and they're like, I'm gonna kill you later. I booby-trapped your fucking car.
Oh, crap, I told you. Now I have to booby-trap something else.
Great. Maybe your chair. Boom! Whose Line is over.
It was the end of Whose Line.
Totally.
Yeah. So, yeah, is that the extent of it? Is it going to be in the same studio, do you know? Or
I don't think so. I believe it's being...
Is Laura Hall still part of it?
Oh my god, if she's not, I'm going to be sad.
I know, Laura Hall and Linda Taylor.
Yeah, and that other woman that joined on near the end.
That was her. That was who I just said.
No.
There was a third?
There was a third.
Oh my god, I didn't see those episodes.
I remember having a crush on Laura Hall.
Really?
Yeah. I had a bit of a crush, but then I was like, she's got a big head.
And that just was... No.
Laura Hall, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But you have a fucking gargantuan head.
You want to come on our show and play piano for us?
It's like the head of Gibraltar. It's like it raises food safety issues whenever you go into a store.
Oh my god. You're just gonna make her hate you.
It's like when you sit in a movie theater, you sit in the back row because you...
But not under the projector.
No,
because otherwise you'll cover it.
Because then people... I mean, like, your family is like, can we watch videos on Mrs. Hall's head later or something? Because
her family says Mrs. Hall?
Yeah. They do.
They must not be a very close family.
They aren't. Because she has a big head and she can't get close to them.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Ah. Oh. But seriously, Laura Hall, I wanted to fuck you for a while.
Yeah. When was this?
Before I knew what fucking was.
When was this?
I don't know.
Long
time ago. When I thought both men and women had dicks.
Oh.
So it was a long time ago. That's when I was in bed and I was just like thinking about sex and I was like, I wonder what sex is.
Sorry. This has just opened a whole new realm. Like, that I didn't know about you?
I know. It's something I've never told anybody, but I'm pretty... Well, now the whole fucking world can hear it.
Yeah, if they listen.
But when I was younger, I thought men and women used to both have penises.
Because you had a penis, so you're like...
And I was like, I figured they're the same.
Yeah, they're not.
No shit!
I hate to break this to you, but they're completely... Like, one of them... It's like an innie and an outie belly button.
You fuck one person and you're a fucking master of bodies, aren't you?
I've seen a lot of porn.
On the subject of porn and being younger, I didn't know how to masturbate.
Uh-huh.
So no joke, no fucking joke. I took this... It was like a handheld foot massager.
Okay, I'm listening with great intent right now.
And I had it, and I just rubbed it against my dick. Until I came. And I was usually watching, like, National Geographic with the naked black ladies in the Amazon or something. I was pretty pissed when... I think it was, like, after 9/11... there were, like, a lot stricter TV things.
Yeah.
Like, there was...
Everything got stricter after 9/11.
I remember pre-9/11, you could show movies on Comedy Central with full nudity. And, I mean, like, it was, like, Comedy Central After Dark or something.
Yeah, the After Midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was called, like, Half-Baked Comedy or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was, like, it was uncensored. You could say whatever you want. And it was full nudity. And it was, like... It was like porn. It was like fucking porn. and then eventually at like 1, maybe 2 in the morning, they would do the Girls Gone Wild thing.
Yeah. Holy shit, I remember that.
But like they would always cover up their tits with smiley faces or something. Or the Girls Gone Wild logo.
Yeah.
And it's like, nowadays, I mean, like, I know the guy got busted because one of the girls claimed she was 18, but she was really, like, 16 or 17.
Okay.
So, filming a minor.
A minder?
Shut up.
I every time I call you out on this.
Yeah, and you know what? When we were recording before, when we were doing our preliminary things, I called him out on his mistakes, and he was like, no, stop doing it, man. So I stopped, like a good friend.
Well, now you can do it again because I don't care anymore.
All right, fuck you.
You just heard a real argument, folks.
First argument on Two Doodz, I think.
Yeah, well, first real argument. We've had arguments before, but they don't really mean anything. Yeah.
We've gone way off topic.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Whose Line?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have anything more to say about Whose Line.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I don't know when it starts. I have to watch the first episode. I was really excited about Improvaganza, but then I watched an episode and I was like, this isn't as funny.
There were a few episodes that were pretty fun. Like, a few segments of a few episodes that were funny.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. I don't know why, but it just was.
Mm-hmm.
And oh well.
I think it was a setting with more people. It just, I don't know, it seemed... I think as far as with improv, real small venues with few people is when it's funniest.
Yeah.
When it's huge venues like Improvaganza had, compared to Whose Line, it lost some of it. I don't know why. It just felt different.
Yeah, a little bit. Plus, part of it to me, I think, was because it was in Las Vegas and you could order food and drink while watching, and some of the audience members would just get drunk.
Yeah.
And automatically things become funnier to them. I feel like at the original Whose Line studio, it was like they really had to work for their laughs.
Yeah, because well, it's easier to do anything for a drunk audience.
Yeah.
So.
But ultimately, I think actually it was just Drew Carey was skinny.
That's what you think the problem was?
Yes.
There was no desk.
Oh my god. The desk tied the whole thing together.
Oh my god. And the step.
The desk and the step.
We just
Holy
found the
shit.
secret to any improv show.
That calls for a mega high five. That calls for a high 10. Do it!
So, if we can move on, I actually have kind of a topic I want to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
Recently, since Netflix put it up, I've been watching a lot of Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Really?
I love Ed, Edd n Eddy. Some of the funniest shit ever.
I remember watching that a lot when I was younger.
Do you have Netflix?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you should watch it on there because, there was like a couple of the funniest fucking moments, and I'm kind of gonna like just gush about the show.
You're
because
gonna fangirl?
Yeah, I'm gonna fangirl about the show.
Go right ahead.
So there was an episode where Ed was allergic to bunnies.
Okay.
Do you remember that one at all?
Which Ed?
Big Ed.
Big Ed?
Yeah, I'll refer to them as Ed, Double D, and Eddie.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Ed and Eddie. Ed,
Yeah.
Double D, Eddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ed.
Wait. Ed is the short one?
No.
No, Ed's the tall one?
Ed's the big dumb one.
Double D is the one that always wears the hat?
Yeah.
And
Eddie is the
short one?
fast-talking skis ball.
Okay.
So Ed was allergic to bunnies, and he was like rubbing them on his face and stuff, and he sneezed. And when he sneezed, he covered his face, but his eyeballs like burst out of his head and were just like huge. And it was some of the most random shit I've ever seen. I don't know why I found that so funny, but it was fucking hilarious. The next funniest thing is they were doing a paper route one time, and they got like way too many papers, and they put them in a paper launcher, and the paper launcher started misfiring and started shooting everywhere, and it hit Kevin while he was riding on his bike, and it launched him into orbit. You didn't see him get launched into orbit. You just saw him go, whoa! And he never made an arc. It was just straight up into the air.
Fucking Team Rocket is launching off again.
Yeah, exactly like Team Rocket blasting off again. Yeah, and then the other funniest fucking thing was the entire episode of when they were making Johnny annoying.
Which one is Johnny?
Johnny's with the 2x4 with Plank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they were making him super annoying because they would sick him on people, and then they would get paid to get rid of him.
Really?
So it was like a total scam.
Fucking
Yeah.
Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Exactly. And so what they did is they put him in a suit. Like, Eddie put him in a suit as an annoying thing. Double D put anchovy paste in his mouth.
Okay.
And Ed was like, I glued a block of wood to his foot. How that made him more annoying, I have no idea. Then, when they first started meeting him, Ed was... This caused me to laugh for like a good 5 minutes. Ed was standing there, and Johnny was just biting his head, like going around the top, like bite over his head. And Ed just standing there, he's like, it's like a bad itch, get him off me! And he starts rolling on the ground, and that's how the scene ends. And it cut to commercial there. Funniest shit ever. The third thing is Johnny started figuring out that he could crack himself to be annoying. Like, he would just like crack in the weirdest ways. And the first time he did it, he cracks himself and Ed goes, "Oh, what a pest!" Those three things caused me to laugh for accumulated like 30 minutes. I couldn't fucking help it. It was so funny. But that's my gush about Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Did you hear the theory about Ed, Edd n Eddy?
No, what?
There's a theory about it that none of the characters are real.
Really?
Yeah. That they're all dead. and that they live in purgatory. That's what the boulevard is.
The cul-de-sac?
The cul-de-sac is purgatory.
Really? Okay.
Like, Rolf is a farmer from like the 1800s, and that's why he's always so into his into the gardening and everything.
I could see that.
Johnny, the one with no, what's the kid?
Jimmy.
With the one with the brace.
Yeah, that's Jimmy.
That's Jimmy.
Yeah.
He was born in like the 90s and died as a child or a kid due to some disease or something.
Okay.
And he was just reincarnated as the little kid.
I could see that because he had like a bandage on his chest at one point. Maybe he had like a surgery or something. It's like always there and it does nothing.
Eddie is the son of like a 1920s fast talking banker or something.
Okay.
You know, it's like and the three girls that came
the Canker sisters,
they're demons that come into purgatory just to fuck with all the souls lost there.
Oh my god.
And that's why you never see parents.
Well, you never see parents up until they started... After they started going to school, which was like season 5 or something like that, it got dumb. And that's when I stopped watching.
Oh.
Because they went to school and you saw parents and you saw teachers and stuff, and I was like, ah.
But, all right, well, I guess for the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, those are the only seasons I count as Ed, Edd N Eddy. That and the movie at the end.
It's like, if you really think about it, it kind of makes sense a little bit, and it's a little frightening.
Yeah.
And it's a little sad.
Well, on with other theories. You know this theory about SpongeBob?
No.
How really Bikini Bottom is just... You know where they were testing those nukes in the ocean? It's an irradiated place where they all mutated.
Oh.
So, like, why there's a giant fucking pineapple down there? You know? Because an octopus fits inside this fucking pineapple. Octopuses are big.
Yeah.
Well, not really big. Bigger than a fucking pineapple.
That's for sure. Yes.
So, and why all of them are come to life and why the fish, you know, can talk and all that.
And, Doug, do you remember Doug?
Yeah, vaguely.
Doug apparently is just, he's a schizophrenic boy who imagines everybody else.
We're just ruining all these shows for these fine people.
What if they're not fine people? What if a rapist is listening to this?
We're ruining the show for that rapist. I mean, we're still ruining the show.
But he's not a fine person.
No, but we're still ruining it.
She's not a okay, well, I don't understand how a girl can rape a guy. Honestly.
It can happen.
I mean, like, if the guy's
What was the name of that movie? Misery? She didn't rape him, but she could have easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
But I had a counterpoint.
That you forgot?
Perfectly valid counterpoint. Okay, most guys, I don't think would be like, stop sucking my dick.
That's true.
Plus, why isn't it easy to catch a rapist after he fucks a woman if all men fall asleep after sex?
Huh. Very true.
It should be easy to find one.
I feel like you would have a little bit of urgency if you just illegally raped someone, though, to get the fuck out of there. I think you could avoid falling asleep for at least 4 blocks to get away and get inside somewhere. You know?
So all rapists
make
rape
it only
someone 4 miles within their house. out of 4 miles, they're like, I can't run anymore.
I wouldn't make it. They fall asleep in their car or something. They just crash, and it's like, oh, there's the rapist. We found him. It wasn't that hard. Just check. But that's what the cops have to do after they hear, like, I just got raped. 4-mile perimeter around that area.
Check for cars that have crashed.
Yeah.
People asleep on the sidewalk. It would suck in Chicago because there's hobos asleep everywhere.
Yeah.
So there would be a hell of a lot of questioning.
But it'd still be easier than anyone in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we've offended people who watch those shows growing up and people who've been raped.
Yeah. I'm sorry, people who've been raped. I don't mean it.
Well, I mean, I've had two girlfriends that have told me that they were raped.
By like older people or by like same age people?
Older people. One was much, much older, and the other was maybe 10 years older.
Okay.
One girl.
You just took the tone of this whole show. Just.
Oh yeah. Things are getting dark.
Yeah.
One girl, I think it was her grandfather or her great uncle or something, used to hold her like on his lap, and then he would take her to a room off into the side and like finger her. And it's like, what is your problem,
Yeah, what
man?
the fuck?
She's related and she's a child.
Oh my god.
And another girl was raped by someone she worked with in Michigan. The guy offered her a ride home, and he was creepy, but she was like, no, thanks. And he was like, just get in the car, I'll give you a ride home. And she was like, oh, fine. She got a disease from it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And she had that disease while we were dating.
Oh.
Which is why...
Do I know this person?
I think you do. I think you've only met her once or twice.
Okay.
But, it was like, it went away, with medication shit. But it was like, still, while we were dating, it was like, just, fuck! That fucking asshole!
Yeah.
He ruined it for me!
Was it like forceful or was it like trickery?
Yeah, it was forceful, I think.
Because some rape can be considered trickery too.
Yeah.
Like where you convince them, where you not like drunk people. Like if you get a girl really drunk and you convince her to have sex with you, it can still be considered rape because she's not in her proper state of mind.
Oh.
No. If she was okay with it the next day, that's fine. But like if especially if it was a minor.
Oh.
Yeah, then it's double illegal. For two reasons.
One of my exes, she was 17, and we went to a party, and she got pretty drunk, and she was like, "Go get some condoms," and I was like,
"Well, she said it to you."
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she was the one that wanted to do that.
Okay, well, that's at least a little bit better. I mean, and you had been dating for a while or something.
Yeah,
or,
like around 8 months, I think.
Okay, so that's different. I mean, like, some people will just go to a bar or something, find the hottest girl there, and then convince them. If they're like, no, I don't want to, they'll convince them to
You know what's really fucked up?
What?
I went on vacation one time with my family to a place in Wisconsin, and I think someone roofied my mom's drink.
Really?
Yeah. Like, she couldn't... Okay. Real talk. Real serious talk.
Not just a normal real talk.
No. This is serious.
Okay.
Chris and Nathan. There was some band playing, and afterwards, my family, my mom and dad were talking to the band. And, they were some, sleazy Mexican types. And my mom was like, can you go get me another glass of wine to my dad? And he got up and he walked over. But I think she looked away for a second and he slipped something in her drink. Because, she had maybe 2 glasses of wine and she was stumbling. She couldn't talk, really. There was one point when my dad was like, all right, I'm just going to go get the car. I'll be right back. And he went to go get the car, and she thought, she was walking towards the fence. And she was like, where's the door? There's no door here. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with your mom? And then it was scary. I was actually legitimately afraid.
Oh my god!
And now that I think about it, in retrospect, I kind of want to find out what band that was, just so I can fucking beat their heads in.
You fucking drugged my mom.
Yeah, Right?
Do you remember this, like, 10 years ago when you drugged my mom?
It was like, why would you do that? Why? Just, why? It's my mom!
She was with her husband, too.
Yeah, and her children.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're just getting pissed off.
I'm getting so pissed off right now. Fuck those people, man. I hope they die in car fires, man. I hope their children are born with fucking polio and they can't get cured. I hope their children have HIV.
Their children?
Their children, their progenies. I hope they have HIV. I hope they die painful, slow deaths. I hope someone takes them by their Achilles and puts a hook in their Achilles and hangs them upside down and slashes them with machetes and disembowels them with a wooden spoon and then gives them a small prostate exam because I know the pain of that and it sucks.
You just got like super... It's like you thought about it for a while or something. I can't tell if it really mattered, huh? I couldn't tell if you were really mad.
I hope they get fucking dismembered by a Mexican drug cartel.
Oh, man.
Fucking assholes. Fucking pieces of shit.
That is if they really did, and not if your mom just didn't drink more than you remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do remember the next day talking to my mom and saying something like, do you remember how weird you were acting last night? And she was like, I don't want to talk about it. So it could have either been that she just got really drunk or someone roofied her.
Yeah.
I always just assume that someone roofied her.
You don't see your mom drunk very often?
No.
Okay.
Like, at all. And I've never seen my dad drunk.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite with me. It's all the fucking time here.
Like, my parents, you know how strict my parents were before?
Yeah.
When we first started hanging out freshman year of high school, my parents were like, oh, you're going to Chris's again? Oh, well, be home by 8 or something.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, all right, well, just don't be up too late.
Yeah. You're coming home? Oh, fuck, it doesn't matter.
I don't care, just as long as you're home before sunup.
Yeah. Interesting point. So yeah, what's... now that we've gotten through all that...
Now that we've gotten through my fucking rage.
Yeah. Rage-isode.
Oh my god, rage-isode. I do know that our next topic is gay marriage.
Gay marriage.
Yes. How are your viewpoints on that?
I don't know if this is going to be well. Like, I do think that there should be the same legal rights as with between straight people or heterosexual couples as well as gay couples.
Okay.
It should be the same fucking legal points, but I know also that marriage is a religious institution. As far as to my understanding, that it has to go with the church, and you can't really, especially with separation of church and state, you can't force a church to recognize something. I mean,
yeah,
it's whatever. You can't do that even in places where it's not, because people just would be like, fine, I fucking recognize, but really they wouldn't, you know. So
fun of fucking recognize.
Yeah.
As cardinal.
Yeah. Yeah, the cardinal.
He's just sitting there with his big ass hat, just like, I fucking recognize
it.
it.
You fucking dicks, I don't. And then he turns to his friend and he's like, I don't fucking really recognize that shit.
I don't recognize it. And he's just like, shut up. Fuck you. Drink the blood of Christ.
Yeah. But I do think that they should have the exact same legal rights. And I think the whole thing is over, not necessarily, I think it's over the word marriage and not civil union.
That's, like, a lot of big issues rely on the definitions of things. Like, like abortion, one of my friends was like, no matter what, a child should be born into this world. And I remember talking with you in your backyard one time when I was like, if I were president, I'm pro-life. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, well, what about if someone were raped? And I was like, oh, shit, yeah. That's right.
they would be forced to have that child then if it was a law.
And so now my viewpoint on that is like, a child must be born unless it is the product of rape or incest. Only then can the mother have a choice to keep it or to abort it.
Okay.
That's my viewpoint on the whole thing. And on gay marriage, I feel like, go right ahead.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
And a lot of people say the same thing as me. They're like, you can be gay all you want, just as long as you don't push it onto me.
Yeah.
If it becomes an annoyance in my life, then I'm not going to want you to have that anymore. I feel like slavery was a bit like that,
Sorta. I mean, I'm in a history class, and a lot of people, like, especially the Civil War, was not remotely over slavery. Not even close to over slavery at all. The byproduct of it was that slaves got free, but it wasn't. The thing was it was the North. This is going into history class here, but the North and the South had different, like, the southern slave states wanted to expand. They wanted everywhere to be allowed to have slaves. The northern states didn't want slaves in their states, and they were moving more towards industry. You don't need slaves if you have industry.
Yeah.
Because it takes jobs away from the people.
Yeah.
Because then why would I hire someone when I could just buy a slave and he's forever in my, control?
Yeah, indentured servitude.
Yeah. So that was the main issue, was that it was slavery, but it was just not. It was like the North and the South were turning against each other and becoming more suspicious of each other. Each side going, they're going to take over my way of life. Yeah. And the reason that Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which only freed slaves in non-union states. So there were some union states that still had slavery. After the Emancipation Proclamation, they still had slaves. Lincoln didn't give a fuck. But he did it because Britain was totally non-slave, and Britain was going to join the southern side and send troops over to the southern side, which France would have sent. So the South would have totally kicked our asses, and he had to find the right fucking moment to go, no, I'm freeing all the slaves. In which case Britain went, oh, fucking fine, we're not going to help them because you did the right fucking thing.
Yeah.
And
that's fucking Lincoln was brilliant.
Yeah, he was a brilliant motherfucker. He also knew that the northern soldiers outnumbered the southern soldiers 3-1, and he just said, "Fuck it, just throw guys at him, and eventually we'll fucking win by just eliminating their numbers."
Yeah,
3 of our guys could die to every one of their guys, and we would win. It'd still win if 3 died to 1.
That doesn't make sense.
Why?
You mean
we would still have a very slight number. If 3 of our guys died to every one of their guys, it would come down to the very end, and we'd have a very slight number. We had a little more over.
I'm thinking of the math of this whole thing. Sorry,
it's a little hard to think about right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. If we have a larger army, then like a 3-1 advantage. If 3 people died to every one of theirs, then yeah, I would understand that.
Yeah.
My brain was like, it was stuck at 0. It was like, all right,
like, my brain's not working.
If we both had like 1 million soldiers, and we had 3 die and they had 1 die, it would definitely be bad.
Yeah, no, I was saying that we had more soldiers than they did.
Yeah.
And Lincoln was just like, fucking throw guys at them. But we had some terrible generals. The Union did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
What was the name of the general in the South? The famous one. There was Ulysses S. Grant and
Robert E. Lee?
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah. Getty Lee.
Getty fucking Lee.
Yeah, so this has been a super real talk episode.
It
so
really
far.
has been.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't call. Oh my god.
Maybe you're more drunk than you thought.
I
Take a
probably
drink.
Maybe we should call it the Real Talk episode.
The Real Talk episode?
We'll call the episode Real Talk.
Okay.
This is a serious one.
Yeah. We talked about...
we did have that little funny bit in the beginning about who's lying.
Yeah.
But then shit got serious.
Yeah. So, yeah, we did gay marriage and abortion. I'm pro-choice all the way. So.
Pro-choice?
Yeah.
Completely?
Well, I mean, sort of. I mean, if you... I don't know, because I feel like you should know before the fucking end of the first trimester. Like, that would... I think that would be like... How long is it? Like 3 months each? Something like that?
Well, yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. So if you...
Because it's 9 months altogether.
Yeah. So if you missed 3 periods... And you were like, oh, maybe I'm just fucking really late. And you don't know you're pregnant by then I don't know, maybe you're just dumb. But I think before the end of the first trimester, you should have the choice.
I feel as though if you're under 18, it's your parents' choice.
Okay.
If you're over 18, it's your choice, but only if you were raped or a victim of incest or something. So, yeah. And this seriousness goes hand in hand with our next topic, the Boston bombing.
Okay. It happened a while ago.
I know it did, but it was because we had other topics to talk about. And I was
funnier topics.
Other funnier, better topics. Well, not better, but like not as hard to talk about.
Yeah.
There was a video I watched about the reactions throughout the United States of people reacting to the killing of Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
And on that video, I was like, God bless America. I'm so proud of our military, our United States military. And one guy commented back, fuck you, fucking United States, you're a bunch of pigs. He was obviously from the Middle East. He was very upset about whatever I had to say.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck you guys, we'll kill you, and the streets will be painted red with your blood. And I was like, bring it. Fucking bring it, man. Because United States of America isn't the greatest country in the world. I know that for a fact. We aren't the greatest, but we are still a world superpower.
Yes.
And I take pride in our military. I, for a while, wanted to join the Marine Corps.
Nah, never me. I'm like, nah, fuck that shit.
I really did want to join the Marine Corps, but I knew that I would get turned down because of not only physical attributes, but also due to mental incapabilities. It would be very difficult for me, and I don't think they would actually have allowed me in, because I would have been a risk to other people as well as myself. But I really admire the people in our military, and I know we're fucking strong, man. And this guy was just like, "Oh, we'll fucking kill all of you." And I'm like, "Fucking bring it, man. I don't care what you say. This is fucking America. We have been a world superpower since our inception, conception.
Not Inception.
No, I always mix the two up.
Inception, a movie about going inside dreams inside of dreams.
Yes.
Conception, pregnancy, sort of.
Birth.
Yeah, birth and beginning.
The beginning, yeah. But the weirdest thing was how I said that. Then, like, 4 hours later, I got a comment back that was like, "Turn on the news." And I did. And it was the Boston bombing.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, legitimately like, "Oh, holy shit."
Yeah. Didn't know you'd react that fast. That was quick.
But my immediate comment back, and I feel a little bad saying it, but my immediate comment back was, two people killed, that's it. Not exactly painting our streets red. You're going to have to bring a lot bigger things than that, buddy. I kind of feel like an asshole a little bit. Because, I mean, like, they were people.
Yeah.
They're good people. But...
Well, I don't know that they were good people. I'm assuming they were good people.
Well, yeah, but through what the media tells us they're good people.
Okay.
But that's another big thing, the media, right? There's been a lot of misinformation in the media lately. I know that they showed a picture of someone from the Newtown, Connecticut shootings.
Okay.
A teacher that was killed, and then they used that same picture for someone that was killed in the Boston bombing.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I feel like, it easily could have just been a mistake. Someone clicked on the wrong fucking picture.
Yeah.
But I hate it when people on Facebook are like, look at Barack Obama not saluting the flag or something. Look at this news program that messed up this thing. And I'm like, seriously, these people are just as human as you are. They mess up just as much as you. So, seriously, give them some credit for all of the work that they do to try and keep you and your family safe.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of people think that the government is specifically out to kill everyone in the country. Mm-hmm. Which I don't fucking understand. Like, how, why, what, I don't, like, conspiracy theorists really bug the fuck out of me.
My older sister married one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
My older sister, my brother-in-law, I should say, he thinks 9/11 was an inside job. I'm pretty sure he thinks like the Illuminati or the U.S. government are behind the Newtown shooting, behind the Colorado shooting or something. And it's just annoying. I mean, like, he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I met him once at his wedding.
But, yeah, it's like, I don't understand how people are that so insecure about our country.
To think that their government would plot against them.
Yeah. Like, why? I know there are some people that think that in 9/11, the planes were filled with people and they were killed, but it was like the military that planned it all. Then there are other people that think that the planes were empty and they went into the building and it was like a controlled explosion throughout the building.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why would you think that? How the thousands of people that died, like, sorry, mommy isn't coming back home because she's working with the government right now and she's in a relocation project.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the best quote I can put to this is a quote of a quote. I like Penn and Teller's bullshit. Yeah. And I like that when he says the line, "No one can convince me," is such a fucking... That's not skeptical. If you say no one can convince me, skeptics say, no, try and convince me.
Yeah, it's more just arrogant.
It's arrogance and it's dumb overall. It's like, no matter what it is, I like Doctor Who. And if someone says it's a bad show, I say, why is it a bad show?
Yeah.
I don't go, well, you're wrong. I ask why. Why they think it's a bad show, and maybe that might change my opinion. Probably won't.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility.
Of course, yeah. It's just, I mean, that's just it. I feel like I could talk to my brother-in-law about this for hours and be like, I don't understand why you think like this. But he could ask the same questions and be like, why would you think like that? It's just, people are just set like that, I think. And that's why I try to avoid as many things like that as possible. When I was younger, I used to think that 9/11 was a conspiracy.
What? Why?
I watched a few YouTube videos. That's why.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, my eyes have been opened. And I mean, I was a fucking punk. So I was just like, I'm going to find it out. I'm going to find out everything. And then later, I was just like, it's kind of true. Why would they fake everything like this?
Yeah.
Why would... I don't think that there could be an agenda that the government would have that is so major that it would cost thousands and thousands of lives.
I was looking at some of the videos online for the TSA pat down things or whatever. It was like how there's like scandal behind it. Like, really, it's just an excuse so that they can grope people. Yeah. And there, like, some of the videos say, like, there was one of a pregnant mother being patted down.
Yeah.
And everyone, well, not everyone in the video, but a lot of comments on the video said, why would you pat down a pregnant mother? It's not like a pregnant mother is going to go blow it up. And I'm like, as soon as you say, oh, all pregnant mothers pass, guess what someone who actually wants to blow something up is going to do? Dress like a pregnant mother.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't exclude anyone. Yeah. And a lot of people on these videos go, oh, all you Americans are sheep just blindly following the government. And that makes me go, ha, you're a fuckface. Like, I don't know. I don't know. If the government really wanted to kill us all, they could probably just send the military and fucking shoot everyone and we would stand no chance.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, there are a lot of people that believe in I think it's the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, a lot of people exercise that right, and they do own guns. But against the entire United States military, if they wanted to kill us, they would have done it already.
Yeah. And, there's also... Oh, shit, what was I going to say? I had something to go along with this. Second Amendment, maybe that's what it had to do with. Oh, yeah. You know what the reason for it is? Because that the Founding Fathers thought every 20 years there should be a revolution in the country so that the government doesn't become too powerful.
Really?
Yeah. The initial plan was every 20 years there should be a revolution to overthrow the government and replace it with new leaders and people.
Huh.
Yeah. And a lot of people on these videos say, well, I'm going to get my guns and I'm going to start a revolution. And then I say, why don't you fucking do it? Because then the government would actually... You wouldn't get very many followers, and all of you would be killed. It would just... It'd be like natural selection.
Yeah, and I have days like that where I just think, God, all of the stupid and weak and old people in this country, in this world, should just die. I have days like that where I'm just like... Fucking Darwin was right. But it brings me back to the point, like, you know, they're people too, and no matter how old or how disabled they are.
I have nothing wrong with old people, by the way. As stupid people, maybe.
I mean, like, stupid people, like some of our classmates, like the ones that say, like, in high school, the ones that would have said YOLO all the time.
Yeah. I don't want them to die. I just think they need to fucking grow up. But, like, the stupid people who, like the people that we're conspiracy theorists, those are the stupid people I'm talking about.
Yeah, something like that. Like, God, it's so weird how there's so much, how this is like the United States of America, and how we're all supposed to be brothers and sisters of this country, and yet sometimes we hate each other, and there's so much distrust and so much dishonesty, and it's fucking crazy, the world that we live in. And it's a little disappointing
sometimes,
and it's that sometimes those days I'm just like, only the strong will survive. Only the smart thinkers, the physically strong, they're the ones that will survive ultimately. And people like the conspiracy theorists that are like way too paranoid to go outside without thinking the military's gonna knock their door down and be like, fucking Second Amendment, shoot them.
Yeah.
It's weird. I can't help but think that every day sometimes, that, like George Carlin once said, when you're born, you get a ticket to the freak show. When you're born in America, you get a front row seat. And it's true. We really are a fucking freak show. Not saying that it's a bad place to live, because I've lived here my whole life and I've never left the country. But part of me just wants to go out there and experience other countries, other cultures, see how other governments act and everything, and come back home and see if I really just really appreciate the freedoms that are given to me, or if I'm just like, you know what, they're right. This place is a fucking mess.
Yeah. Well, I want to end on a happier note.
Yeah, of course.
So, what other topics do we have that could be funny or interesting or...
Our last topic, actually, is Bioshock Infinite.
Bioshock Infinite.
Yes. I haven't played it.
You haven't played it, but I did. I beat the fuck out of that game.
I saw the trailer, and I was actually interested, but then I saw the ending, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird.
Well, you should never watch the ending before you play a game.
I didn't mean to watch the ending. Well, actually, okay. Fucking...
Darren?
Darren.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah, he was just like... I was watching a video game donkey, and he was talking about how blah, 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 and the endings, blah, 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 and I'm like, oh. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, well, as soon as... I saw that video, the donkey video.
Yeah.
And as soon as that started coming up, and he's like, oh, there's going to be spoilers, and I just went, okay, stop. And I didn't want to know. And the gameplay, I mean, you should still play the game. It's got really good gameplay. It's not a horror game. Like the first Bioshock, and I didn't play the second Bioshock because I heard it was bad, but I still should. Just no one owns it. So, I mean... I don't have anywhere to get it unless I want to go buy it, and I really don't want to go buy it. But it has really good... The first Bioshock was a horror game. It was scary.
Yeah.
Cramped environments, everything. This game was an adventure. This game was a fucking go out and do shit. Kill people. Ride on skyhooks. All of that fun stuff.
So, I mean, like, in the first game, I, about halfway through the game, I turned off the music because it scared the shit out of me.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did you beat the game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I turned off the music, and then I put on music of my own from my hard drive in the background, and it made it just 10 times better. Because I wasn't as scared listening to fucking Avenged Sevenfold and Jimi Hendrix while playing the game.
Oh, it was great scary. It was fucking... The only thing I hated about the first one was you had to keep clicking, I think it was B, to refill your health if you were dying.
I think so, yeah.
And I fucking died so many times because I didn't know if I was about to die or not, so I never hit B. So, unless the battle was over and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to hit B.
So, Bioshock Infinite, you liked it.
I love that game.
Alright, so out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Alright.
Yeah, it was a good fucking game. I might change that later, but right now I think that was a good fucking game.
I'll take your word for it, and I'll probably go to Family Video or something and take it out.
Yeah. I definitely recommend it. It was great amounts of fun.
I love great amounts of fun. You know I do.
Who doesn't? Yeah, I think we're going to be reaching the end of this episode here.
Yeah, we are.
It was a more.
It was a very emotionally charged episode.
A darker toned episode. Wasn't as light and frothy as we usually are.
Yeah, but I feel like it has to happen every once in a while.
Oh, it definitely does have to happen.
Talk about the serious subjects and get our opinions out there.
Yeah, as long as we kind of know what we're talking about. I feel stupid when I say shit and then I'm like, oh man, that's not even right at all. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, even though it may not have been the funniest, although the beginning I thought was pretty funny, but it may not have been the funniest episode. And please, because we're on YouTube, comment on our video, rate it, I think is what it is, like it. Comment. And subscribe. Subscribe is the big word.
You said comment already, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That's what
so my name is Chris.
My name is Nathan.
Thank you for tuning in to the Two Doodz.
Nice.
Nice segue.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.